Well, I want to welcome you to the first of our YouTube videos for the 351. As I say, we'll do one this week, and then in a couple of weeks, when I have to be gone again, we'll do that. Um, what we're going to do today is explore a little bit Chapter 19. I'll present a PowerPoint which you can follow along with this as well. And embedded in that PowerPoint, the last 3 slides are the activity for today. If you have any questions about this reading for this week, don't hesitate to send a message to me on First Class, to our class folder, or to me directly, and I'll try and respond to that. Additionally, when I return next week, we'll pick it up. So I hope everybody's having a good week. Really, this is picking up into the kind of the so what that we started last week, but this so what has to do with the legitimacy of interior and exterior category theories. The PowerPoint that I presented, or that you'll be able to read as you go along, really outlines some of the fundamental principles with categorical theories. And I talk about in this chapter both interior category theories, those which we know classify humans on the basis of structures and processes that are delimited by body structures, and then that physical part of us, that stuff that's inside of us, that skin, all of those kinds of things, skin, facial features, a variety of things, the embodied sense of self. And then the exterior category theories refer to those that address the conditions that are exterior to the body. These are pretty much still self-evident in terms of, as you go through to look at the principles, that clearly they emerge, and all of, as you know from your other classes, these categorical theories really emerge from an expanding conversation about politics, an expanding conversation about cultural, expressive, economic, demographic, geographic, and we don't often think in the state of Maine about geographic issues, but clearly that has to do something with religious issues, intellectual and technological context. The whole notion that I'm conveying to you and having a conversation about our class using technology is one of the kinds of features that this speaks to. The values that are inherent in the category theories are really relative to the specific context, and thus both represent and shape the diversity of values within those contexts. So thinking about where and how these categorical placements occur, and categorical theories to a greater or lesser extent are aimed at examining rights and needs of membership of category, and thus provide us with a sense of action orientation. This is what Liz spoke about last week, which really is the thinking part combined with the doing part. And so that's why we labeled this kind of the so what part of it. Categorical theories, clearly what we know is, if you look back to the history and think back to your political science 100 classes and look back to the history of social work, they wax and wane with regard to issues of desirability about homogenization and difference, the degree to which we value homogenization, the degree to which we value difference, individual difference, group difference. Categorical theories tend to predict behavior, appearance, and experience in areas that are often unrelated to the criterion for category membership. And over the chronological history, categorical theories, there's been a shift from a hierarchy of worth, in terms of who is most valued, to an emphasis on rights and equality. It's important, I think, in the conversation about categorical theories, and we don't often talk about it in our social work classes, but categorical theory can both confer privilege and equality, and also, as we've talked about in class, is membership category can also serve to curtail opportunity. So when somebody gets identified as a member of group XYZ or category XYZ, that's often used as a basis for segregation, denial of opportunity, and denial of rights. When we couple categorical theories with diversity, that ends up being limiting part of the conversation, or limits diversity to predefined groups and human phenomena. So just that mere linking of category to diversity serves to limit part of our conversation. One of the most important elements of concern to professional decision making and the response is informed by categorical theories is the eligibility based upon categorical membership to rights, resources, and services. So the whole notion that membership in a category then, and we think about this in terms of our social work response, oftentimes gets linked to privileges, linked to rights, linked to resources, linked to opportunity. Second thing, one of the things that we would propose when we're thinking about categorical membership, categorical theories, is the fit between that membership and the social, political, and economic and emotional dimensions of the environment. So somehow a connection between category and environment. An environment of the individual or group as defined by their categorical membership. One thing to ask, is the environment supportive? Is it hostile? Is it neutral? Does the environment meet the needs of the individual or group as defined by their categorical membership? So really important for us is to not think of the individual or the categorical group as isolated, but think of them within the context of environment. And that really is where our case study today, and I'm not going to read that for you, but that really is where the case study is. And I'd like you to think about this in detail and try to think outside of the box in terms of how, based upon categorical membership of all the parties involved, you might see best to respond and what you think the response might be best in terms of thinking about environment and categorical membership. Once you read these, if you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to post them on our first class folder, because I suspect if you have questions, somebody else in the class is also going to have questions. And we'll see you next week, where we'll pick this up and we'll talk about this a little bit in the first part of class, and then go from there. I also want to remind you that this week is a good opportunity to do some work on your project for the end of the semester. If you have any questions at all about the organization and theory project, please don't hesitate to post those as well, because my suspicion is that other people in class will have those. And anyway, this has been a treat talking to you on YouTube, and next week we'll see you in person. And take care. Have a good week.